boys and girls. Good morning. Let's get out our iReady workbooks for today. And let's turn, we finished up our other lesson on historical fiction. We want to go to page 52, lesson 4, describing connections between scientific ideas. We're going to talk a little bit about making connections. This is on page 52. Go ahead and pause anytime you need to. So what we're going to be doing is connecting a little bit of science to our language arts and talking about how things happen in the real world. Okay? So when you read about science topics, look for connections that show you how ideas or thoughts fit together. Connections may show how or why one thing changes into something else. Understanding these connections will help you describe or tell how things change or work and why they happen. Look at the pictures. What is happening in the pictures? Think about what's happening and how we can connect them. So we have our first picture. Looks like a boy and a girl with a rake and some soil. We see the same characters here, the boy and the girl. Looks like they're watering. I see some sprouts. Down here, it looks like, hey, they grew something, maybe a flower garden. So take a look at the pictures that show that boy and girl. They're working in their garden. What do we see happen first, next, and last? Go ahead and fill this in. Pause the video if you need to. First, I saw the girl and the boy planting seeds. Next, I saw them watering maybe the seeds in their garden you could put. And at the end, I saw them standing and looking at the flowers that they had grown or they saw blooming. And if you have something different, you could share that now. Then we're going to flip over. I think you'll like this next passage a lot, to page 54. Jumping Joeys. Does anybody know what a Joey is? It's not just a person's name. Jumping Joeys by Julian Green. What is the best known animal in Australia? It's the kangaroo. Kangaroos are large animals with powerful back legs, but they are less than 1 inch long when they are born. A baby kangaroo is called a joey. The joey climbs into its mother's pouch. There the joey feeds and stays warm. The joey stays in the pouch for 7 to 10 months. It grows much bigger. Then the joey is ready to come out of its mother's pouch. When the joey is ready to come out, its mother loosens her pouch. The joey falls out. At first it stays out for just a few minutes. Then it goes back in the pouch. Every time it comes out, it follows its mother and learns to find food. Soon it can take care of itself. When the joey leaves the pouch for good, it's not an adult yet. It will grow taller and heavier. A kangaroo can be more than 6 feet tall and weigh 190 pounds. So interesting facts about joeys, which are baby kangaroos, and how cute they are. Let's look at our purple box here. Close reader habits. Underlying details that show how a joey grows and changes. Think about how these ideas are connected. So take a minute to pause the video, use your highlighter or pencil to underline how the joey grows. I saw in paragraph 2 a lot of details about what happens to that joey in the mother's pouch. When I click over here, I see first, next, last. Again, talking about order, making some connections. Use details from paragraphs 2, 3, and 4 in the article about joeys to fill in the chart. So up here, they've already started for us. When a blank is born, it climbs into its mother's blank, where it blank and stays warm. It lives there for blank months. Go ahead back in the passage and see if you can find those answers anywhere in the passage that you can fill in. Go ahead and pause the video. I would have put, when a joey is born, it climbs into its mother's pouch, where it feeds and stays warm. It lives there for 7 to 10 months. Next, what happens after that? Again, you could go back to the passage. What happens after 7 to 10 months? Go ahead and pause the video while you fill in what you think happens next. I would say that when it grows larger, the joey falls out of the pouch, and then it stays out a little bit longer every time until he can take care of himself. And finally, what would you put for finally? If you go back, finally tells us as a sequencing word, we're looking toward the end here. When the joey is big enough, it stays out of the pouch for good. He gets taller and heavier. If you'd like to do the short response part, you're going to flip over to page 58, Jumping Joeys. And you can tell why each part of the joey's growth is important using details from the article, and then share with your classmates.